I was too, but mine were pink and they were small. Okay, the thing about my height is like no socks fit me. Like my mom bought me like Christmas socks for Christmas last year, but they're too small. Like I don't wear women's regular sizes.
I have big old Santa Claus socks. I know people wear them small.
I just wore mine.
Okay, do any of you have their numbers? Because I just, okay, yeah. Just because I just feel like they should probably. Oh, Sailor's in. Good. Okay. No. Hi, Sailor.
He's not awake.
Okay.
I'm so scared that I'm gonna fall behind.
I'm not going to be able to project and Zoom because my computer's dying. It's just been a hectic day.
You can do it online.
What is it?
Oh wait, wait.
I wonder.
I have something to help you.
Oh, okay.
How is your computer always dying? Do you use it all morning?
Yeah, I use it like so much, like, and especially with the seniors because I had to Zoom with them too today. I need a new one. It's kind of old, to be honest. It's like almost 5 years old. So, yeah, it has been a while. Okay, I'll wait for some of them to kind of come in, and then we'll talk about our homework and things like that.
Great.
Oh, yes, I think.
Because it's an extra one, right?
Yeah, but if I need.
Because is there another one on that side?
No.
There's only one?
Yeah, there's only one.
Apple's such a scammer.
Okay, so if I did this, I think it would help though, because then I wouldn't need.
The HDMI.
Yeah, I actually think this would help. Okay, let's see.
Is it charging?
Yes, it's working.
And then you can plug it in.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, let's see. Okay, guys. So what I want to start off with class today is to go through really briefly the themes slide and like just kind of talk about some of our favorite themes, what you guys wrote down on your note sheet, just because I do think it's important for us to touch on that. So let me kind of get this together and we'll get going. Sorry, I've never Zoomed with you guys before. Okay, I'm gonna try to.
Well, I don't know.
What's one of it?
Thomas, I think.
Ask the group chat.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, Chick-fil-A is.
Okay, I think this is gonna work, Abby. Thank you. I need to get one of these. Wait, is this gonna work?
Oh, it's spring.
Oh, this one. I need one of these.
I have 4.
Oh, that's really good. See, I'm getting a new one for Christmas, I think. So I think I'm gonna get like a one with more.
But the newest one? Okay, wait. Did you just have the newest one in there?
Yeah.
I only had 2.
Oh, I have to look at hers and see. Okay. Let's see. Hi guys. Hi Gigi. Hi Sailor. How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Ooh, Gigi, this is so fabulous. Your little headshot.
Thank you.
So cute. Okay. All right, guys. We are going to review our homework from last night, which was those theme slides. So I'm going to try to share the screen with you guys. Here, let me just see if I can get out of some of these tabs. Again, guys, we're just kind of spending today going through themes. We're going to talk about symbols. We're kind of just wrapping up our conversation here. So that way tomorrow we can just review for the test. So, all right. Let's see. I think I posted it here. Yes, that's it. Hi, Lucy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty
I
good.
take it on the back. So
Okay, let's wait for this to load. It is going very slowly.
But in English, I usually use these sheets.
Chemistry was also.
Okay. All right, guys. So I just want to talk about, was everyone clear on the homework? Those of you who are virtual as well, to kind of go in and talk about some of these themes here.
Yeah.
It looks like, ooh, it looks so good, y'all. Yeah.
Miss our tester, do you want the worksheets that we did yesterday too?
That's okay. I'm just gonna excuse you guys. I got your email though, Lucy. So you're good. That's more for you because when you get your checklist for the test, so the test is Friday. When you get your checklist tomorrow, it'll say like theme sheet, and that's what I mean by that, is that sheet that y'all fill out, okay? So it's up to you because one of my short answer questions is gonna ask you which theme you find most significant. So
Okay.
hopefully you were able to pull from this for that, okay? But I really quickly want to just talk about what are some themes that y'all did think were significant? Like, what do y'all think? What were some of the ones that you put down on your paper?
Definitely. Well, maybe I'm biased, but I think lies and deceit is very.
Okay, lies.
I did.
Yeah, lies
I mean,
and
I think
deceit.
that gets bigger, like broader, like not just lies and deceit, but infidelity, and then like Gatsby's past, and then like that's what drove everyone to dying.
Good. Lies and deceit, I feel like it's huge. What else?
Society class was the one that I did, but I really think like, it's so important.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of the crux
Because
of
it's like the egg.
the eggs, right? Yeah, the eggs are super symbolic of that there. Yeah, perfect. Okay, what else? What about Lucy? What do you think is one of the most significant themes?
Definitely wealth, and that's the
Okay.
one I did.
Okay.
I just think it's like majority of the characters like main focus, especially I talked a lot about Daisy. Like that's all she really cares about, and that's why she's attracted to Gatsby and to Tom. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Love.
So hopefully, yeah, I think love is good too. The reason why I wanted y'all to do your own research is, again, I keep saying every time we do a book or a short story, I really hate talking about themes just because I feel like it almost puts literature in a box, right? Like, this is what it's about. It's about society and class. It's about love. When you can see, I think I really liked the Schmoop page because there were so many, right? It's almost impossible to put Gatsby into one category here. And I think, again, I've told y'all this, that's what's so wonderful about literature is that if you can argue it with textual evidence, which is hopefully what you did with your homework last night, you can basically argue anything, right? I mean, it's your opinion, okay? So when it comes to the test, if you have a theme that wasn't listed on Schmoop, wasn't listed in this activity, you can tell me that theme, but you have to have a paraphrased example, okay? So you have to be able to tell me specifically from the book why that's a common theme. So yeah, I feel like lies and deceit is definitely a big one. The American Dream, y'all know I love to hear about the American Dream, American exceptionalism, right? That might be a good way to impress me on your short answer.
I used the American Dream for mortality.
Oh yeah, good.
Because I mean, death is like a big thing, but also like not just like physical death, but like symbolic death of like how Gatsby's dreams like died.
Exactly.
That, like, and his like everything about Gatsby, like the vast partying, like everything about him, like, just being along with him was for like forgotten.
Exactly.
Like,
good.
No one's more relevant anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And y'all were supposed to read with Miss Nye when I wasn't here, Gatsby's Guide to Manhood.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, good. And those articles that I've given you, they are on the test, okay? I know we haven't discussed them in detail, but y'all are old enough to be able to read and annotate and retain information. That will be on the list tomorrow. So you'll want to go back through your annotations. But
what's going to be on it for that?
You'll see tomorrow, Lucy. I'm going to give you guys a really detailed list of everything.
Okay.
But it could be a multiple choice question that I ask. It could be a true or false question that I ask about the article, just checking to see if you've read it. And just making sure, just me checking too, that you can retain that knowledge on your own. Close reading, right? So let's see. Oh, I'm waiting. All these people are coming on in. Okay, good. So, again, tomorrow we'll go over that more, but Gatsby's Guide to Manhood, what was kind of the point of that article and what was it talking about? Just really quickly.
Like not like mentorship, I guess. Like,
hello.
Like looking up to something, like how Gatsby learned everything from Dan Cody. Like the same as like how young teenage boys are learning from Buffalo Bill, whatever his name is.
Exactly.
I can't remember their names.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like through like comics or like illustrations rather, but like that's how Gatsby learned like old sport and like his like rise to fame was because of Dan Cody. And I think that the article was like saying that's probably where Fitzgerald got the idea to like
Exactly.
relate it to Dan Cody.
Good. So the whole point there being Dan Cody and this relationship of idolizing something or someone, right, and striving for that American dream because you see it achieved in someone else. What do y'all remember at the end of the book? There's like a list that they find. What had Gatsby written? What had he like written down in a book?
His schedule. He would like work out, lift weights, read my books, never give up. It was like,
Okay. And guys, what's so important about that list is it is the American dream materialized, right? He's making it tangible by creating a list, right? This is how I'm going to achieve this American dream. And my American dream is to be this well-rounded character, right? A lot like Dan Cody was, okay?
Practice your manners.
Exactly. Good. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on this again, guys. This is your responsibility to make sure that you understand whatever theme that you're going to want to discuss on the test. Again, it's a short answer question. What is the most significant theme you found in Gatsby? And you're going to have to give me paraphrased examples of why. Y'all understand the difference when I say paraphrased versus like textual evidence, right? Paraphrasing is you just like telling me, right? Like when Daisy dropped her pearls in the wastebasket, okay? Instead of having like a direct quote.
Is it okay if we like mention a quote?
Yeah, if you have a quote, if you like memorized a quote or if it just sticks in your head, that's cool.
Like when he says relies and see, like I'm the most honest man I've ever
Yeah,
known.
that's a good one.
That's pretty easy.
That is pretty easy. That's a good one. Okay. Any questions, guys? Are we confused about the PowerPoint? Are we confused about what we wrote down on our note sheet? Are we confused about the whole point of this activity? Anyone?
No.
Okay. All right, guys. So what I want you to do now is I want you to get out your flip books. We have a little bit of unfinished business when it comes to the flip books, okay? So if you could go ahead and open it up to, let's see here. Oops. I think it's the, wait, where is this? Why can't I find a flip book? Characters. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna share the screen. I can share it up here too. That's fine. And then I'll share it with you guys on Zoom. It's the themes illusion symbol flat. It looks like
I
this.
did so much for this sheet.
Okay.
I was very proud of myself.
Okay, good. So last night for homework, y'all also had a symbols sheet. Everyone online, do y'all know what I'm talking about for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, hopefully you filled that out because again, that's gonna be a part of the test as well. All of those symbols I've talked about in detail already in class. There wasn't really any new one that you had to really discover there. Hopefully it just felt like a review. And this again is going to be a type of review here, okay? So good job if you did the symbol worksheet. Again, I'm not gonna check it virtually for y'all. If you're in person, I'll come around and give you stamps today because those are fun. But I want to break this down. This will definitely be on your test, okay? If I ask about this, it will be on the test, okay? So for symbols here, the green light, okay, I want to try to find, I actually want to run go get my Gatsby book just because I need it. But let's talk about the green light here. What does it symbolize?
Hope.
Hope, okay?
Gatsby's dream.
Gatsby's hope, Gatsby's dream, something in the distance that's attainable. What does the color green symbolize?
Joe.
Money.
Envy, money, greed, all of those wonderful things.
Oh,
Okay, guys, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go grab this.
We've already been through all of these. Do I need to rewrite everything I just wrote again?
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're just like transferring it to another paper.
Oh,
We still have our 50 minutes.
50.
Liam, this is crazy. You're on your computer.
Schoolwork. Schoolwork is out.
Lord, it is. I don't understand why you would make yourself take cold showers.
Oh, I did that for a while, and then I started doing it again, and it felt so good. I'll do it.
But like, how do you like get in? Like, I know that's like, kind of weird.
You
But
just go.
I would like scream. I bet.
It's like jumping in like a whole big like
Ocean.
Yeah, you just have to jump in.
I like jumping in the ocean when it's
But doesn't that like
cold,
make
but
you
not the
sick?
shower. I didn't make it freezing. I just made it like
Does that not like make you sick? Like, am I tripping?
no.
It
For me,
doesn't.
it would, because I'm a little frail human being.
I feel like I would be like,
Yeah.
My showers are for me to steam and cool.
Yeah, it's heating up my room in the morning because it's really freezing.
I know. This morning I was like, I was literally shivering and I couldn't find my leggings.
My room is right next to the my room is always freezing.
Yeah, no, that's how mine is. My room, like, okay, so we had a porch connected to my room and then we closed it off and now it's like a playroom. But it's not insulated at all. So it's freezing in there right now. And it's everyone always goes in there and leaves my door open. And even if it's just like it's shut, but it doesn't go in all the way.
Okay, sorry guys. I just wanted to be sure I had the page numbers for some of these, okay? If you're interested, I do just have like random page numbers jotted down for these symbols and where they come up, if you care. Again, this might be good for when you do your essay as well. Okay, so the green light is on page 21. That's where we see it first, right? When I looked once more for Gatsby, he had vanished and I was alone again in the darkness, okay? It appears on 93, page 93 as well, and page 180.
Yes, that's the phone I have.
You do? What is it?
That's people need to bring my gas.
That's a good one. Yeah, the one on page 180 is really beautifully done.
I did that one. His count of enchanted objects had diminished by one.
Mhm.
And then he stretched out his arm toward the dark water, a symbol.
Good. Yeah, good.
That's
Okay.
kind of freaky.
It is. All right. So, Gatsby's house. What did you guys? Was this on your sheet?
Yes.
Oh, it was. Okay, great. So, what does Gatsby's house symbolize?
Basically, the money and everything. Yeah, materialism and his giant attempt to get back Daisy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But then,
Reason about that house was cool.
and then also like it being so full and then completely empty when like it's in most time of year.
Exactly.
Like how like it's so huge and he like filled it with all these wealthy people over the summer. And like how he had these huge parties and it was like filled, but then at the end it's empty.
It's capped up by some people and
Good. So Gatsby's house symbolizing the American dream materialized, right? This idea of superficiality, this idea of emptiness, right? Whenever no one is there, right? But then the parties are so extravagant and everyone floods the house.
I feel like his loneliness like hides behind the doors and like his vast like landscape and stuff like that.
Ooh, I love that, Lucy. Good. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't have a page number for this. Did you guys get a quote?
I got Gatsby's mansion had it was like wait. Okay, there was like when he describes his mansion like in chapter 1,
Mhm.
and then there was like Gatsby hadn't once, and I think he reevaluated everything in his house according to the measure of response it drew from his well-loved eye.
Good.
And
Okay.
then Jordan's quote, it wasn't coincidence.
Exactly.
about the books that were.
Oh yeah, it was when the allies.
Yeah.
Absolutely real. They didn't say everything.
Good. Isn't that so interesting too? The irony there that the books are real, but is anything else about Gatsby's life real?
No.
No. Okay, good. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Okay. Gatsby's car. That quote is on page 33. Did y'all get that? The car. There's a lot of different symbolism there with his car. his car is
white
the
one.
it's the gold one,
Greenish.
right?
Yeah, Daisy had the white one.
Mm-hmm.
Daisy-
I got like normally like cars were just being invented and stuff during this time, and him having like flashy cars and stuff like that kind of showed what he put his worth into.
Yeah, exactly. And what about the color and its symbolism? Yeah, yellow, right? The one that hits Myrtle, right? What does yellow symbolize?
Well, not
Yolk.
The yolk of the egg. Good.
the golden egg.
Okay, good. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. This is like kind of dragging a little. I'm gonna like pick it up for a sec. Okay, the pink suit. What does that represent?
Oh,
Gatsby's pink suit.
his well. Oh, and like his how he's so out of place.
Mhm.
How he's so out of place.
Yes. Okay. And y'all remember too, hopefully you remember the epigraph, and you'll have that questions about that on your test Friday as well. Okay, right? It's about this idea of this ridiculous man, right? Dressed up, dancing, right? Bouncing for his love to achieve this. So again, this idea of the pink suit, not that men wearing pink is ridiculous, right? We're not going to be sexist here or try to assign a color to a gender. But it is very loud, right? Like a salmon suit, all of it. It's very look at me, right? It requires a certain type of confidence, I think, to rock a pink suit. And Gatsby does it effortlessly, okay? But again, to know that that kind of heightens his ridiculousness in some ways, right? He's wanting people to look at him, and yet, does anyone really know him? Does anyone really get to look inside of who he is? No. Okay. So there's irony there with the suit.
Oh, he has a spotlight.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And did Tom? Yeah, Tom is the one who makes fun of him. It's on page 122. It's when Jordan says, "And you found he was an Oxford man," said Jordan helpfully. "An Oxford man?" He was incredulous. "Like hell he is. He wears a pink suit." "Nevertheless, he's an Oxford man." "Oxford, New Mexico," snorted Tom contentiously, or something like that. Okay? So again, kind of the ridiculousness of new money being flashy, right? Because Tom would never have to wear a pink suit to show off his wealth. Okay? It appears again on page 142, this pink suit. Let me see if I've highlighted it here. I don't see it. Oh, okay. "I hadn't gone 20 yards when I heard my name, and Gatsby stepped from between the two bushes onto the path. I must have felt pretty weird by that time, because I could think of nothing except the luminosity of his pink suit under the moon." Okay, so the suit is what he's wearing when everything goes down with Myrtle and Daisy and all of those different things. Okay,
Oh yeah.
so that's interesting too.
Hold on again.
And that was on page 142. Okay, all right, the billboard with the eyes of T.J. Eckelberg.
God.
All right, there's a lot of different ones you could do. I feel that the best one is on page 159 to 160 when Wilson says God sees everything. This is really rare. Fitzgerald is spelling out the symbolism for us, right? He doesn't want us to miss it. He has a character say it, right? That the Eckelberg is symbolic of God here, okay? So this idea that the billboard is in the Valley of Ashes looking over, right, all of the depravity on the way to New York, right, where a lot of the sin kind of goes down. It's interesting, like I said, it is interesting because Fitzgerald is so good at imagery and metaphors, and yet he chooses to spell this out for us. He is making a direct allusion, bibliomancy, to God here, okay? All right, good. So what I want to do really quickly too are these allusions. So again, hopefully you have your theme sheet. You'll need to study that. I'm going to ask, or excuse me, your symbol sheet. I'm going to ask you to probably draw a symbol and explain it is one of the short answers. That should be familiar from the Crucible test as well. It will be along those lines where you're explaining symbols to me, okay? The cuter the drawing, the better, okay? These illusions here, I think there might be multiple choice about them that I've kind of thrown in. And it's just interesting. I just thought it was interesting, some of these things, okay? Trimalchio, this is a character from a Roman novel. Let's read what page it comes up on in Gatsby. If you go to page 113, or you could just write down this so that way you know. On page 113, yes, it says, it was when curiosity about Gatsby was at its highest that the lights in his house failed to go on one Saturday night. And as obscurely as it had begun, his career as Trimalchio was over. Only gradually did I become aware that the automobiles which turned expectedly into his drive stayed for just a minute and then drove sulkily away. Okay, good. So this is an illusion. I have here just a little bit of notes on here. Okay, so it's a character from a Roman novel. Have y'all heard of this guy? You might have heard of this illusion before. It is kind of in pop culture sometimes. I think Demi Lovato even has a song, maybe, perhaps. It's a character from a Roman novel who was a freed man. He obtained power and wealth through hard work and perseverance. Trimalchio, so it's right here under illusions, this first one in your flip book. Do you need me to spell it for you, Liam? Okay. So again, this idea of a freed slave who then obtains power and wealth. Why would Nick refer to Gatsby as this? Why would he allude to this? Chained to his poverty, yeah, and chained to his class, right? But he was able to break free of that. And through hard work and determination, and even if some of it was sketchy, right, what he was involved in, you can't deny that he was working hard, right, to obtain what he wanted.
And now, like, the thing that he, like, worked hard for, which, I mean, was, like, yeah. Did y'all have a question? Anyone online? No?
No, ma'am. Thank you, though.
Yeah. Okay. So on page 149, we have Grail. Y'all, this should be familiar, this illusion. The Holy Grail. Have y'all heard of that? Okay. So let's look at the quote that we have on page 149. Mm-hmm. Okay. If I can even find it. I didn't.
Holy Grail.
Here we go. Okay, so this is when Nick is breaking down how Gatsby feels about Daisy. But he didn't despise himself, and it didn't turn out as he had imagined. He had intended probably to take what he could and go, but now he found that he had committed himself to the following of a grail. He knew that Daisy was extraordinary, but he didn't realize just how extraordinary a nice girl could be. She vanished into her rich house, into her rich, full life, leaving Gatsby nothing. He felt married to her. That was all. Okay? So this is right after Gatsby had met Daisy, right? So comparing Daisy to a grail. Again, this is an allusion to our epigraph when it's a prize to be won, right? So almost it's objectifying Daisy, right? It's taking her from being a human being, a person, and something that can be achieved, right? Something pursued or sought after is the definition of a grail, okay? It's interesting too that a grail is what Jesus used at his Last Supper with his disciples, if you're familiar with biblical allusions, okay? It's interesting because this will be Gatsby's last venture, right? He dies without ever obtaining Daisy. So there's a little bibliomancy in there too with the word grail, if you're interested in things like that, okay? I actually don't remember this last one. It says it's on page 45, Velasco. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can figure it out, and we can Google it too, of course. Okay, let's see where it is on page 45.
This spell is a regular
Oh wait, you see it?
It's
Where?
at the very bottom. It's like
Oh, this fella's a regular Belasco. How do I say that? Is that Italian?
yeah.
Belasco.
Ooh, where is
It's a triumph.
Jordan?
What thoroughness, what realism, what a solitude. Didn't cut the pages, but what do you want? What do you expect? Oh, okay, this is about the books, right?
Oh,
Is this Owl Eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, this is Owl Eyes when he discovers the books are real, and he refers to Gatsby as a regular Belasco. So let's Google what that means, because I've forgotten. My apologies.
Wait, what page is that on?
That was on page 45 to 46. So let's see here. Okay, this is probably it. This looks about the right time frame. American theatrical producer. He was a director and playwright. He was the first writer to adapt the short story Madame Butterfly on the stage. Okay, interesting. So it seems like, what does Belasco mean? Oh, look, referring to David Belasco, a theater producer known for his super realistic sets. That's interesting, okay?
Wow.
So he's referring to a theater producer who builds realistic sets. It's almost as if, right, Gatsby's putting on a show. A show for whom? Daisy. That's kind of cool, right? That's an interesting one. I kind of like that one. Okay, did everyone get that?
That's like, how the heck was he thinking?
I know. Okay, and then we have some themes here. They're just written here. You don't have to write anything. These are just to add to your big list that you have. So again, this is them kind of wrapped up here. The corruption and decline of the American dream is caused by materialism and lack of morals. Dreams are often destroyed by reality, right? That idea of nostalgia. Nostalgia, was that on the PowerPoint? No, but y'all know y'all can definitely talk about that, right? Because we've spoken a lot about nostalgia.
I incorporated nostalgia with like the past and memory.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Okay, perfect. Good, Sailor. Yeah. So those words are pretty interchangeable there. So awesome. And then this is interesting, this last theme, and this idea of the Great Gatsby itself being symbolic of
This was in
Fitzgerald's commentary.
one of the first articles.
Good, right? The book itself being representative of the 1920s as a decade, right? And this idea of the disillusionment. What does the word disillusionment mean?
Like putting on like a show, like being not real, but like not focused all the way.
Yeah, so this idea that everything looked great on the surface,
Yeah,
almost,
but
right?
it
Just
was like it was like fake.
exactly. It looked like everything was happy and hunky-dory and people with all of their wealth and all these inventions in this golden era, right? Remember, what did Fitzgerald coin the phrase jazz age, okay? This era of music and enlightenment. But under the surface, this ugliness of what superficiality and materialism brings to, in this case, Americans, right? And we know that they were almost punished in a way for this gluttony in some ways. And what do I mean by punished? What happened in the 1930s?
They were like,
Yeah, the Great Depression. And we're going to read our text after Christmas takes place right during the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl of the 1930s, okay? So we really are kind of going to follow chronologically, and then our next book will be the 40s and 50s. We're really on a timeline here. So it's interesting. We'll see this this book with tons of wealth and excitement. Our novella is not that way, okay?
Is that how it works? Like, it started with two, and that was Shakespeare, and that was forever ago, and then like.
I think just region.
Kind of. That was more world literature that you guys did, and
Like,
so
they're getting closer and closer to like where they are.
This is, I just structured it this way. I think it's easiest. Like we did our survey, which took us, that was chronologically too, the little survey we did of all the short stories. And then I'm taking y'all in another chronological journey through actual text. So, yeah. Good. Okay. All right, guys. So at this point, your flip book should be completed. Okay. So you will want to study this for the test. Again, tomorrow in class, I'm going to go over exactly what you need to know for the test. I'm giving you a study guide. I'm going through all the materials because we actually have a lot of material for this book. Okay, so guys, there's something else we do need to work on here. We've got about 20 minutes. This is going to be another big part of the test. Is literary devices. Okay, so I have been giving you guys tons of quotes. You yourself have been writing down at least 2 quotes for every chapter we've read. This activity that we're going to do in class today mirrors the one from yesterday. It's another Google slide that your class is going to create. But in this case, it's focused on literary devices, okay? So it's going to follow the same format. You guys are going to work on it for the rest of class today. Whatever you don't finish is for homework, and then you're going to record the notes on a piece of paper tonight. I will review them tomorrow. But guys, for your test, I'm actually going to pull from this PowerPoint. So if I put up, let me show you. I'll just show you. So that way we can understand what we're doing. Is this it? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So linked in today's Google Classroom, and I'll go ahead and add that as like homework, but it says the Great Gatsby literary devices. I'll go through and just assign. I think you guys will be able to work in partners because there's 5 of these, so it'll go a little easier here. But basically what I'm going to do is I'll pull from here for your test. So let's say ask you to define metaphor on this slide and give me 2 examples of metaphor in the text. A good example of metaphor is the way he describes Valley of Ashes. Okay, so if you choose that quote, I would pull that quote, put it on the test, and I'll say, please explain the prominent literary device throughout this quotation and why. So you're going to have to tell me the literary device. Again, I feel like y'all are smart enough to where you don't even really need to study that. You could probably recognize an allusion or a metaphor cold, like cold turkey, right? Yeah. But this is an exercise for y'all to dig in. It's going to help you study going back through your quotes and really kind of flipping back through the book, okay? So again, guys, I just want to go over briefly what literary devices are. Hopefully you've even written, did y'all write a literary analysis paper last year? Where you analyze ethereal choices, so like why the author is putting in these metaphors, why he's putting in imagery. Okay, so I'll add that to our agenda for this year, where we can do that. And those are actually pretty fun because you're just kind of speculating why the author does what he does. This is actually a great text to do that with. Again, when an author sits to write a story, he doesn't simply write what happened. Instead, he uses what are called literary devices, which are narrative techniques that add texture, energy, and excitement to the narrative, grip the reader's imagination, and convey information. While there are hundreds of literary devices, and when we get into poetry, it's insane, all the ones you guys will know by the end of your senior year. We're just going to focus on about 5, okay, for now. And hopefully these are all familiar to you, okay? So let's say for number 1 is imagery. I might give that to Theory and Libby. So what you guys would do is you're going to define imagery, and then you're going to go through the book, you're going to go through your notes, and you're going to find 3 examples of imagery in the book. And you're just going to type it up, you're going to give me the page number, and you're going to explain why it's imagery, okay? The next one is personification. Should I just go ahead and assign these while I go? The next one is personification. So, here, I don't feel like typing. I'll go through and assign them in a second. You're going to do the same thing for personification. So 2 of you will do that. That might be like Matthew and Lucy. Okay, I don't think Matthew's with us this morning. The next one is hyperbole. So let's do that with Sailor and Liam. You guys can do hyperbole. That might be one that you're not as familiar with, but that's a really good one. Then metaphor, let's do Gigi and Abby with metaphor here, okay? And then number 5 is simile. So David and Thomas, you get a simile, which is a type of metaphor, right? But it specifically uses like or as. Okay, so y'all can Google this too. Like, I don't care if you want to use the internet and like do that, but I want you to use the pageantry of our book, so that way it makes sense to us when we're going through. Okay, so for the rest of class today, you're going to go through, fill these out, and then your homework for tonight is the same thing you did last night. You have this, and guys in class, I'm going to give you a hard copy of this. It's just this little sheet where you're going to go through and just write it out. I do think that that is the best way to learn and retain things, is to actually handwrite it. The quotes, if it's a long quote, just use an ellipses, right? Just do the beginning of it and use an ellipses, okay? So up here, you would define imagery and then maybe pick one of the examples to write and explain, and just make sure you understand.
On the test, are you going to ask us like a close reading of like every?
Yes, so it'll be a list. So like all the prohibition articles, any article I've given you, I have the right to ask you about, okay? And I'll give you a list of those tomorrow. Again, I'll just show you guys to kind of give you maybe a little bit of peace of mind for tomorrow. But this is exactly what, let me see if I can kind of pull this up here. I have so many windows up, like what is going on?
Wait, Miss Hester, what did you say it was? I know with Matthew.
You're the second one, whichever one that is.
Okay.
Let me just see if I can find it. I could even post this now if y'all wanted me to, but it's just, is it the checklist perhaps? I don't remember.
Imagery.
Yeah, imagery. Oh, okay, great. So here it is. Let me see if I can just share it. And I'll talk about this more tomorrow because I want you guys to work on your literary devices. But I know that y'all always, I mean, I get anxious too about tests and I want to know. So yeah, I break it down just like this. This is what y'all will get tomorrow. So I tell you there's 10 true or false, there's 24 multiple choice, there's 10 matching, and there's 8 short answer. And then I literally tell you this list of all the things you need. Okay? So anything I've given you is fair game. All right? But this is all, I mean, we did this, y'all did that on your own, right? This coggle, we already did too. I'll upload that again tomorrow so you can see it. We did this, remember that whole lesson on the epigraph? These are all the articles you've got in Harlem in the Jazz Age, Prohibition, and Gatsby's Guide to Manhood. These two you got together like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then this one you just did with Miss Nye, okay? Literary device, Google Slides. Remember, you'll actually, I mean, I'm pulling those quotes from the slides. So that's a great thing to study. The coming of age handout that you did with Miss Nye, all of the notes that we took yesterday, those of you who weren't here, we didn't zoom in, right? I posted those notes to Google Classroom, so you're gonna be held accountable for those. This one's not on, there's the significant quotation sign up. I'm gonna take that off. The themes handout, right, which is what we just went over. The symbols worksheet, which was your homework last night, which we went over. And then we just went over the themes, allusions, and symbols flat, okay? So this is pretty straightforward, right, what's gonna be on the test. So don't worry about that. I will go into detail. I will make sure you have access to everything tomorrow, okay? That's gonna be our focus. I'm gonna talk about that beautiful last line of the novel. We're gonna do a Padlet. I'm gonna wrap it up, and we're gonna feel really good for our test on Friday. Okay, is everyone good? All right, so those of you who are virtual, I think that's all I have for you unless y'all have any questions. Was this clear? Were you able to hear me okay and everything went okay?
Just text
Yep.
Matthew.
Good. Okay, well, I miss seeing you guys, but I'm glad y'all zoomed in. Be sure to do the same tomorrow, and that way I can just like virtually go over any questions that you have for the test. If you are not going to be here on Friday, I will digitalize the test for you. I'll post it to Google Classroom, okay? I'm probably just going to have to trust that you won't cheat on that because I don't really have a way to monitor you for that, okay? Yes.
I'm not going to be back for a while.
Okay, so who knows for sure they won't be here on Friday?
Me.
I'm not going to be here on Friday.
Me.
Is everyone on this Zoom not going to be here on Friday?
I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay, and Friday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm not going to be there out of the safety of everyone else.
Okay, so the test will post online. It'll be a Google Doc. You'll just make a copy of it. You'll fill it out the best you can. I'm not going to change the format. Like, that takes me too much time. You'll just have to figure out how to just, like, you know, if it's multiple choice, like, I don't know, you could print it even and do it by hand, and then you could either drop it off or you could just send me pictures of it. That's fine too. However you want to get it to me, that's up to you guys. It'll be in a Google Doc. You just need to make sure that it's clear what your answers are. Okay. So that's the way that'll probably work. Does that make sense? And it'll post to Google Classroom like when class starts. Like I'll have it post. Okay. Make sense?
Do you want us to print it out?
If you want to, but then you would have to scan it in to get it to me, or you would have to drop it off at school.
Okay.
So that's up to you. Y'all just decide how you want to do it. I probably won't have them graded just because all the formats are crazy until like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So whenever you could get it to me.
Alrighty.
Just let me know what your plan is so that way I know. Okay? All right, guys. Well, I will see y'all tomorrow. Get to work on these literary devices. This is fun. You go through all your quotes. You figure all this out. Really enjoy the language of Fitzgerald and how amazing he is. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.